If your business runs on 5 different apps, 12 browser tabs, and one spreadsheet that everyone's afraid to touch, it's probably time for Odoo. Odoo is an all in one business management software that connects every part of your business into one powerful, easy to use platform. So instead of wasting time switching between disconnected systems, your entire business works together in real time. Your team moves faster, your data stays accurate, and you can actually focus on growing your business. Let one unified system run your entire business. From the first opportunity to the final payment, everything works together in one place. Whether you're a small business or managing a large operation, Odoo gives you the flexible platform built to grow with you. Try it today for free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, my name is Nikki, and I'm the daughter of a murdered woman. Welcome back to this special bonus episode of Poppy Killed Mommy. I just want to tell you before I even get into my prepared remarks here how excited I am to bring you this episode because this was a big learning curve for me. This was the first time I was able to conduct a virtual interview through another third-party website app, that being Riverside. I was really intimidated when I first started podcasting 6 months ago. I didn't want to even mess with that until I was more comfortable with the whole system. And since then, I finally got the courage yesterday to do it. And I did it. And it turned, after a couple audio glitches, it turned out pretty good. And that's what you're going to hear next. So in this episode, I want to share with you why these bonus episodes matter so much to me and why they should matter to you too. Because they aren't just extra content. They're not just the side stories. They are, in many ways, the heart of this podcast. When I sit down to talk to people who knew my mom, friends who laughed with her or cried with her, I'm not just telling who she was. I'm learning too. I'm discovering pieces of her that I never got the chance to know as her daughter. I'm seeing her through the eyes of people who loved her, who remember her, and who paint her in colors brighter and deeper than my memories alone ever could. For me, these conversations are the closest I can to touching her again. Every story shared is like reaching across time, pulling her just a little bit closer, bringing her back to life in a way that feels almost tangible. And if I could, I'd have every single person who ever knew my mother on this show to tell me their story of her. Every single one. But the truth is, only 2 of her friends have been willing to come on mic and speak with me. And while I am grateful beyond words for the 2 of them, it's also disheartening that so many others have chosen silence. I haven't been able to sit down with my Aunt Wendy yet, even though her voice is so important. My Aunt Patty is busy, and when it comes to sharing memories, she keeps it to text messages. My mom's coworkers at Pietro's in Sedona, people who I've spoken to over the years, have fallen quiet since I started this podcast. This has been hard for me to accept, but I know that putting your memories in your life out in public for strangers to hear and dissect isn't for everyone. Making your trauma entertainment is a curse no one should bear. Still, I need to say this. If you knew my mom and you're listening to this, I want to hear from you. You can do it right from your couch. All you need is your phone. I just want your memories of her. Every little piece of her. Because every little piece of her that someone gives back to me is another moment I get to feel her alive again. Chasing new memories of my mom is like chasing a drug. It's this instant rush, this adrenaline high, and it hits the second I hear something about her that I've never heard before. In that moment, she's not gone. She's right here with me. I can almost see her standing in front of me. I can hear her laugh echoing in my ear, sharp and warm, the kind of laugh that fills a room. My laugh. I could smell her perfume drifting by, sweet and familiar, like she just brushed past me. For those few seconds, she's alive again. She's tangible, and she's mine. But it never lasts. It fades as quickly as it comes, like sugar dissolving on your tongue, and when it's gone, I feel that emptiness again. And I find myself desperate, chasing after the next one, hoping someone else will tell me another story, another detail, another memory that brings her back, just for a heartbeat. And that's what it's like living with the loss of her. I'm constantly searching, constantly chasing, because those fleeting moments, those borrowed seconds when she feels alive again, they're worth everything. They're the closest thing I have to touching her, to knowing her, and to keeping her with me. And no matter how short they last, I'll keep chasing them, always. Today, I'm honored to sit down with Cheryl. one of the few people willing to remember out loud and hand me back my mother in first person. Through her stories, you won't just learn who Stacy was. I will too. Together, we'll bring her back, not as a victim, but as the woman she truly was. Up next is my conversation with Cheryl. I keep these interviews as intact as possible, but at Cheryl's request, a few private moments have been edited out. What follows is a 45-minute trip to 1976 when life was loud, sun-soaked, and full of bad ideas and big laughs. These bonus episodes are my favorite to make. Come with me and meet my mom the way her friends knew her, a fun-loving teenager, alive and in color. I gotta tell you a wild story before we get started. So, I'm headed out of work. It was yesterday. I'm headed out of work. I just clocked in, and my a principal's out there, and she's with a mother, this little kid's mother, and I was like, "Hi, how are you?" And I know she works at the Spur Cross campus, so I make a point to talk to her when I see her, not just because she's a student's mom, but because she's a coworker. So, um, she was like, "Hi." She said something to the effect of, "You're the one with the podcast." And usually most people like to talk to me about the social media because I run the school social media. So I was like, "Yeah, I run the school social media too." She's like, "Oh, well, I didn't know that. I just know," she rounded back to the podcast. She was like, "I just know about your podcast and I listened to it before I knew who you were."
Wow.
I
Wow.
know, that's the first time somebody has told me that, and the fact that she's like a coworker just blew my mind that she had listened, and somebody else too, one of our students' moms that she's friends with, she's like, "Yeah, me and so-and-so's mom, we figured out that it was you, and we were blown away." So, I just had to tell you that. It's starting to go around.
Wow. You never know what forms things come into your life. They come in all different avenues,
Right? Yeah, that was really
right?
neat. I thought you'd like that. I told my boyfriend too.
I like that a lot. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I noticed at CrimeCon, um, there's a few folks that I recognize that I've listened to their podcasts.
Really? That is so cool.
I follow several court cases, and I know Lori Vallow's son. What's his name?
Melissa talked about him too. I couldn't tell you, but yeah,
Colby.
there you go.
Colby Ryan. And he was there, and there was somebody, because I follow his mother's case that, you're familiar with the Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow
Oh, of
case,
course.
right?
Who
That's-
isn't?
Oh my God. There was somebody else there that I recognized. I should have wrote it down because, things come and go pretty quickly. Wow, I know that not personally, but like I'm aware of this one and this one and this one.
For me, the big people, like I recognize Vinnie Politano and stuff, but I didn't know who the podcasters were because I'm not a mover and shaker in the true crime community until recently. Luckily, I had Melissa there who could navigate and who was pointing out all the people. She's like, "That's so and so, Derek and Stephanie with True Crime Weekly, and there's the prosecutors." She was, oh my God, like starstruck when she found out we were seated next to the prosecutors, who I have no idea who they are. But whenever I chart, I go through and see where I am on the charts, and the prosecutors are always on the charts. So they're a huge podcast.
That was the other one, the prosecutors.
I figured.
Because I watch court cases, so I was familiar with the prosecutors and the attorneys. Because I listened to them.
Melissa was tickled pink to be seated next to them. And whereas like Alice was really nice, like the whole time, Brett, like the first day, like needed to sweep by us. And like Melissa and I thought he was kind of rude at first because he had like an adoring fan base at his table and he had to get to it. And he was like, "Excuse me," and brushed by us really quick. But after we sat with him for a few days and like we got to chit-chatting with him, they're really cool people.
Oh yeah. What an experience you
Mhm.
went through. Like, how did you meet Melissa?
Oh, Melissa is amazing. She's actually a coworker of mine at QI Montessori. She was hired about 5 days before myself. So we were new on the playground in July of last year. I didn't know who to talk to except for the kids. She's the same way. And she awkwardly approached me and she's like, "Hi, I'm Melissa." And I go, "Hi, I'm Nikki." And we shook hands and we both realized we were new and we clung to each other like a lifesaver. For like for the whole time we've been there because we were new and we know nobody. Didn't know anybody else. And it's a small school and it's very cliquey. And if basically, if you don't make it the first year, you're not really embraced. It's one of those
Yeah.
small
Yeah,
school.
one of those. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, okay, now I get it. Yeah, I'm so glad you have her. I really she was sent to you, Nicole, I'll tell
she
you right
was a lifeline, Cheryl. I couldn't have done that trip on my own. I didn't even drive. I drove 2 hours to Flagstaff, and then she drove the rest of the way to Denver, the reroute, and then the whole way home. She's a monster on the road.
What a trooper.
Mhm.
Kudos to Melissa.
Yeah.
Shout out to Melissa.
Right? I love
Like,
Melissa.
so impressive. I'm so glad you found each other.
She I mean, right away with the true crime, we knew that we were buddies, with the true crime. And then we talked about CrimeCon, and we had the plan like 6 months out, and then at CrimeCon, through the whole thing, she was just my lifeline and my rock. And then it was on the 3rd day, we're sitting there, and I remember when it just hit me like lightning. She was standing and I was sitting, and I was looking at her, and she was greeting people, and she was just working the booth. And I looked at her and I was like, "How do you feel about doing season 2 with me?" Like, it was just an aha moment. And she looked back at me and she didn't even hesitate. She's like, "That sounds like fun. Let's do it." Like, just that quick. So, we weren't
That
sure if
that
sorry. I know we've got a little bit of a delay, so we're talking over each other just a pinch.
she's a godsend gift to you.
Mhm.
She really was.
Yeah. So we didn't know at first if we were going to record at her house and then like remotely, but that's a little bit more than I can handle. So I think I've talked her into squeezing her ass in here. We're going to put her back here. I'm going to make dad build her a desk like opposite, and we're going to mic her in to the computer, and we're just going to have to sit back to back, but we'll be in here into the same computer to make it
And
easy.
she'll be your co-host.
For season 2 until we can figure out something else for the future. Anyway, but
Exactly.
I know that you have been in my mom's life for, oh God, she was about 15 or 16?
We were 15 because I graduated when I was 18, and when I was a freshman, I was 15. So Stacy, and that was the summer of 76. So we were 15, but we knew each other into being 16. Is that when I met your mother, the real party started?
So she was sent to Chicago because of family problems, is what you heard. I've heard through
That's what
Wendy, right? I've heard through Wendy and Swifty that there was some kind of baby. The father, it's all hearsay. We don't know who it is. There's been speculation. There's been also speculation through Wendy and Swifty on if the baby was actually full term. Swifty swears by it. Wendy says that mom went there for an abortion, and after talking to you for the last year, it kind of sounds like she had the abortion because you were neither here nor there aware of a child at all, right?
Not only that, Nikki, she did not represent herself to to me that she just went through anything. Like, she acted totally normal. Like, if I am completely unaware of any such incident happening. When I met her in Downers Grove, she did not appear at all like she was recovering from some emotional trauma. She was always just ready to party and let's go. Like,
Wow.
if something happened to her, I would have expected something a little bit different from her. She wouldn't have been so, and maybe that was just her personality, but I just never got the impression something was wrong with her, like she just went through something major like that, you know? I
Wow.
just never got that impression from her.
I guess she was really good at hiding it and she just kept going. I don't know.
And
See?
Wendy and Swifty both attest to that?
Mhm. Yeah, the difference on, their stories is one is convinced that the child was term, the other is not. And after talking to you, it sounds like she went there and had an abortion because you never saw a baby, and, she went right to school after arriving there from what I was under the impression. It's not like she was, put somewhere for 9 months and held up in a room.
Not at all. Like I said, I don't question Lori or question Wendy. What I question is She did not act like somebody went through something emotionally and tragically as that. That is the farthest thing that I saw when I met her. Like,
Wow.
that couldn't have that couldn't have been, I don't know, Nikki. I didn't see any signs of trauma. I didn't see signs of emotional breakdowns, tears, none of that.
Hmm.
None of that.
So it was just
Just
a good
none
old
of it.
time. You guys just had fun. Tell me about it then.
We had fun, Nikki. She was cousin Joe. She was Joe Pluto's cousin from Phoenix. And she came in. And I'll be honest with you, Nikki, I never got the impression that something was wrong. Nothing. That's why I find it very, and I don't doubt what they're saying, but it's just what strikes me is I didn't see any signs of emotional, tragic anything. Nothing. Like I don't know. I just I have to, I mean, alls we did was hang out with the neighborhood people every day. She acted as normal and crazy as the rest of us. And she fit in quite well. She had an instant group of friends, like instant, huge group of friends instantly, which I was part of. But I can't tell you that there was something emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Now, again, if she talked about Phoenix, she probably did, but I would have remembered different things she would have said to me that would have stood out that probably I would remember. But I gotta say that there was nothing, like nothing that I would say this girl was through anything when I met her. And that was, she was with us about a year in Downers Grove. And I just, no, maybe it was yeah, it was because we were going the summer of 76, so we were going into our sophomore year. So we're 15 turning 16, okay? Yes. But this girl did not appear to me that she went through anything of any sort. Other happy to be in Downers, obeying the rules with Aunt Lily Pad and Uncle Baby. We laugh. We laugh because she had if she had to spend another fucking day picking those weeds, Nicole, and we would laugh. Because she's like, Cheryl, maybe I can't come out until I pick the weeds and I can't. And we would just crack up because that girl had chores. And I'm telling you, it was hysterical, just hysterical. But I would never, ever, and I'm pretty good at reading people, I have to say, but I never picked up on anything other than we had just a ball and fun. And if there was something that happened, then you're right. Then she hit it so well that I never picked up on anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to know that it didn't affect her so like in my mind it was like so devastating to hear that this happened to my mom and the world ended and she was raped by her stepdad and blah 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 and had a baby. But knowing now that she was either able to hide it very well or either brush it off and took it very well is very comforting to know that she was able to go on with her adolescence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of stories that I'm not going to share with you. I think for
Oh,
the
come on.
privacy
Oh,
of,
okay.
well, Nikki, there's a lot of stories, and I know there's other people with their stories, but I figured probably some of them should just remain with me because
Fair enough.
they're party stories and they're crazy stories, and we hung out with crazy people, and we did have a lot of fun. But I think maybe I should just keep some of those things to myself.
Fair enough. I love these
Is
these
that
stories.
fair enough?
It is. I love you're able to
Yeah,
bring her back
there's
to life for me though. So anything you're willing to share is
oh, absolutely. Well,
amazing.
okay, so there was a guy in the neighborhood, John Boy, we called him. Everybody had a nickname, John Boy. He lived in the hood. It was Downers Grove unincorporated, but it was the hood. And Stacy was the love of his life.
Oh, she's a heartbreaker.
She was a heartbreaker. I gotta tell you, well, if you got a few minutes, I'll tell you.
I got all the time for you, Mama. Keep talking.
Oh, this is so fucking funny. So, Stacy, Marty, and I were there were the other girls that I mentioned when I wrote the letter, but
Mhm.
it was primarily Stacy, Cheryl, and Marty was the threesome. Marty was a handful on her own, okay? Stacy and I took care of her a lot, but so which story am I gonna okay, hold on. And your mother just cracked me. Cheryl, baby! What the fuck? And John would sing Freebird on the like a what do you call that?
Karaoke
Box
machine?
with the microphone.
Karaoke machine.
Yeah, but the old school. And we'd party all the time, and he was in love with Stacy and all the girls. He was also one of the major drug dealers back in the day.
Oh, yeah?
The school called my mother up to tell my mother that their house, the Comerford house, was under surveillance.
Uh, uh.
Nicole, man, we'd be sitting over there. He'd bring bags of tie sticks out of the fucking wall, man. I mean, bags of tie sticks. Bags.
And this kid was in high school?
This is in high school. This is Stacy, Marty, Cheryl, Robert. They were all crazy. They're all nuts. And all the girls loved John. Now, John had a girlfriend. Now, keep this in mind. John had a girlfriend, Beth Batten, okay? Beth and her family, they also lived in the unincorporated section, but they were like a good, wholesome Catholic family, okay?
Okay.
But then you had the other part of the hood that I could tell you, Mr. Green used to pay the girls in the neighborhood to come over and pose for pictures. I mean, it was all fucked up,
My
okay?
God.
We had the Bresley household. That was a whole nother story. But anyway, back to John. So John dated Beth forever. But he cheated on her all the time because all the chicks would come over and everybody used to pretty much enter through the bedroom window. Because you couldn't come through the front because of fucking dogs. Or Mr. C was in the basement working on the coffin, and we're up there. And his parents, he got kicked out of high school or dropped out, one of the two. They all did. And so when he met Stacy, that's when he was turning his attention. And all the other girls were getting put aside because of Stacy.
Oh, really?
And then there was the twin boys, Larry and Jerry Warren. Good-looking guys back in high school, typical 70s dudes. And so when Beth and John broke up, Beth was dating one of the Warren brothers. And then that Warren brother dumped Beth again to date Stacy.
Oh, shit.
So John had Beth, he dated Stacy. I forgot it was Larry or Jerry Warren. They were dating Beth, John's old girlfriend, dumped her for Stacy. So your mother says to me one day, she says, "Girl, baby, I date all the fucking Beth bitches that she dates. They all come to Stacy." I go, "How about it, girl?" And so they didn't like her at all, and I don't know, Stacy, Marty, and I we're in our own world. We just didn't give a fuck. We just didn't care. And not to say this against myself, but Marty and Stacy were very, very good-looking girls. I was the ugly duckling of the group. I didn't get the guys like that, but guys would always approach me to get to know them.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Cheryl, baby! Beth's boyfriends. I date them all. I'm like, I know. Because Stacy is look at her. That picture that you hold up in a photo booth of your mom, that's I told you that's Marty.
Oh, do you still talk to her?
Black and white.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicole. No, Nicole. Oh, no. Listen.
Oh,
Nicole.
no. Uh-oh.
In high school, even Stacy's like, "Marty, what the fuck is wrong?" Marty was one of the worst alcoholics I've ever seen in my entire life. So we'd hang out at Marty's house a lot because her parents basically never locked the house. They were like social golfers. socialites, drinkers all day long, blah, blah, blah. So Stacy, Marty, and I'd be, and then Marty's sister Jerry, we'd all be in and out of the house because the doors were unlocked, and we all be hitting the bottles, drinking their alcohol, and filling all the bottles up with water. And we didn't know we were all doing that. So we're at the house one day, and Marty's like, let's take the Maverick was one of their cars back in the 70s. And Marty's like, let's take the car out for a spin. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And Stacy's like, oh, Marty, come on, we'll just go around the block. Parents are out with company. They won't be back for a while. And I've done a lot of stupid shit, but this one day I did not. And I said, no, I'm not going to go out. So Stacy ends up going with Marty, takes the car out, and goes cruising in the Maverick. And before they get back, here comes Marty's parents and their company.
Oh, no.
Dinner.
No, are you still there? And you're still just chilling?
I'm upstairs with her sister Jerry chilling while they're out cruising in the Maverick. Mr. Lowe comes barging in the house. Where's our car?
Oh, no.
And Mrs. Lowe, the first thing out of her mouth was, oh, and I suppose Cheryl was driving. As usual, I took the rap for a lot of shit. And Jerry goes, no, Mom, Cheryl's here. So we all go outside, and there's Marty and Stacy. Dumbass, Marty's driving, so I'm going to say dumbass to Marty. Here they come cruising in front of the house, in front of the company, waving to us.
Oh, my God. Keep going. What happened? Is she get in so much trouble?
No, she ended up trying to commit suicide that night.
Oh, that's not a laughing matter at all.
Fucked up. But Stacy, God rest her soul, she could sit here and tell you all kinds of stories like for Marty. Marty was out of control, Nicole. Remember I reached out to an attorney, my brother's friend I told you in San Diego?
Yeah.
That's the guy I reached out to. He lives in El Cajon.
Oh, Aunt Wendy used to live there. After Mom died, I went to El Cajon to stay with her for a summer. I remember that. El Cajon.
And I remember Aunt Wendy living in El Cajon for many years. Does she not live there anymore?
No, Wendy lives here somewhere locally in Phoenix, but she's all over the place. She's always hopping. Last time she was in Central Phoenix, but she's not there anymore. She's very hard to get a hold of these days.
Has she not recovered from your mother?
This was the moment that the recording and the audio cut out. This interview was my first virtual attempt at an interview. I had a couple of issues, and this audio dropout was the first. I restarted the session, and we talked for another 40 minutes before the audio dropped again. This whole podcasting thing is definitely a work in progress, and I thank you guys for sticking with me throughout it all.
Still waiting in line? Again? That's time you'll never get back. Save time and money with Stamps.com. Over 4 million businesses have skipped the line with Stamps.com. Join them to save up to 90% off carrier rates from your computer or phone right now. Print postage for certified mail, registered mail, and packages in seconds. Then schedule a pickup right from your home or office. For a limited time, go to Stamps.com and use code PODCAST for a free welcome gift. Taxes and fees apply.
I could tell you one other story. So, Bob Baluski was in love with Marty, and John was in love with Stacy. So, Bob used to work at the Arco station. So, one night, and we were all fucked up as usual. And so we decided to go up to the Arco station while it was closed and take the tow truck out for a joyride during the wintertime.
Oh, lovely.
Icy roads and snow, Nicole. Robert was driving. Marty, Stacy, and Cheryl are in the front seat. John Boy in 20 degrees weather is out in the back with this big old shotgun, riding in the back with his big old rifle with no shirt on. And we're down Lamont Road taking the curves while Robert's hanging out the door with his foot braced on the sideboard and leaning out, yahooing, driving with one hand with him out the door with the three of us inside.
Oh, my God. You're so lucky you didn't die.
Oh, Nicole, please. Listen, her aunt and uncle, if they knew the half of it. I don't know. Just all kinds of crazy stories. He'd sit over at John's for hours, party, smoke. They'd feed us drugs. We went to an indoor amusement park, and Robert's car did not have a floor. So when you rode in the seat, you looked at the pavement.
Oh my God. I love it.
Just crazy stuff. It's just craziness, but we had a good time. For whatever reason, she was sent to my life as much as I was sent to hers. And I'm a cast member in this story. Like, really, I'm a cast member. Had she not come here, she would have nothing to do with Downers Grove.
Why did she go back to Phoenix then? Why after a year? Why didn't she stay longer?
I don't know. All I remember is, Cheryl, baby, I got to go back to Phoenix. When you coming to fucking visit me? That's the first thing out of her mouth.
Was she excited to go home or did she want to stay?
I don't remember any type of emotion either way, to be honest with you. And thank God I'm wearing my Loop t-shirt. The Loop was FM 98, a rock and roll station back in our day. And that picture is when I took your mother to the airport. Can you believe it?
Yeah, she looks so much older than 16. It's wild.
Yeah, she was 16 when she left. But she told me that this is what I remember so many years later. She did tell me she had a twin that passed away. She did tell me that. And I knew about Lance and Wendy and Michael and Kathy. And there's another sister,
Correct, Aunt Patty.
Patty. And I knew about Bruce and Miles. Those names are familiar to me. I think she mentioned them in passing, but nothing to recall anything that's standing out per se. And like I said, after she's like, Cheryl, baby, come visit me. And I was in my high school job at Walgreens. And I
love this
worked at a
story.
dental office because I've always worked 2 jobs mostly. She's like, Cheryl, baby, come to Phoenix. I'm like, I'm on my way. And I don't know how I paid. Well, I always saved money back then, but I don't even know how I made those reservations myself. Was I capable of it? I look back going, really? Did I do that? I go out there, and that's how I ended up with Swifty in my picture, and Lance, and that girl with the blonde hair, with the short, kind of full blonde hair in the picture. She's a friend of theirs, but Swifty may know. Other than that, I
Probably,
can't
yeah.
remember who she was at all.
Yeah.
And all we did was party. And your grandma, I don't recall her being there when I was there, Nicole.
Really?
Maybe she was, but I don't remember her being there per se. But I have pictures of Stacy's room.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, me in the hallway. We were drunk and high. When weren't we high? The pictures of tubing down the river, but we were all stoned all that day. Oh my God.
And then you were only supposed to be there a week, right?
No, I was supposed to be there a week, and Stacy's, no, Cheryl, baby, don't go, stay. And I called Walgreens, and it was cool, I remember. But then the dental office didn't take kindly to that one. I didn't care. I didn't like that job anyway. Walgreens was where it was at for Cheryl. The dental office, I never caught on. And she goes, tell them that this is your mother's story she came up with. Cheryl, baby, tell them that you're going to end up having to stand up in a wedding, that you end up, somebody's getting married and you got to attend the wedding. So that's what I told them. And I didn't care, Nicole. So I ended up staying another week. But all of us went to the Kansas concert, and there was an arena called the Coliseum in Phoenix.
There sure is.
Is that still called the Coliseum?
I have been there many years after you. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I don't know how this came about, but Stacy's like, Cheryl, baby, we got fucking 8th row center to Kansas. And all of us went to Kansas. 8th row center. That's how I remember it specifically, because I remember she was so excited.
And you got fired.
And I got fired, yeah. And I didn't care.
I love that part of that story. It's great.
I got fired, man. What are you going to do? When she's like, Cheryl,
I
baby,
love it.
don't go, stay. And I'm like, okay. I didn't really want to go. I remember I wanted to stay, Nicole.
So you spent 2 weeks with her, And what time was that? Summer. So you went tubing. So it had been summertime. And then you went back. So this was probably
I'll tell you, it was summertime,
1977.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was probably summer of
It-
1977.
Yep. So Stacy's, let's walk. We were going to walk somewhere from the house. And I remember the pavement was so freaking hot because back then we walk in bare feet carrying our shoes.
Oh my
And
God.
I remember distinctly it was so fucking hot. My feet were burning. And I'm not used to that weather at all. And the other thing is your Aunt B had a built-in pool in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And I went in that pool, and let me tell you, I had to get out of the pool. And that's the first time it was ever too hot for me to stay in a pool because I have to have bath water or near bath water or I can't get in. I'm one of those, right? And for me to have to leave the pool because of the heat of the pool, man, it was summer. It was so freaking hot.
For context for the listeners, my grandma, because Swifty talks about this pool a lot, the pool was such a central focal point of our home and my childhood memory. But my grandma had a black-lagoon pool. It was not a traditional pool. It had to be black with an island and a bridge and a big volcano that trickled the water in the deep end. But that's why Cheryl's saying that the water was so hot because it was fucking black. A black pool in Phoenix. I remember the pool got very hot, yeah. Why they made a black pool, I don't know.
But yeah, for whatever reason, your mom, Nikki, is, I don't care, separate and aside from our party habits, okay? I really truly found your mom to be, she was very compassionate. Her heart, she was very, I don't know if this is the right word, but she was very heartfelt. Like, I always felt things came from her heart. I really did. Now, maybe that was my relationship with her solely. I don't know how she was with other people. But I can only tell you about the exchange of us and our friendship. And for two girls, and this is not to be taken out of context, but she used to call me up when I lived in Florida. She used to call me up and, she was wasted when she used to call me. I think personally, and I think if your mom were here, she would say the same thing, that we had a bond. We really did. She wouldn't have asked me to come to Phoenix, and I wouldn't have dropped things so fast in my life to go to Phoenix. And when we were together, we always got along very well. There was no contentions with her, no arguing, no fighting, no competition, no nothing, just pure friendship.
I thought she was always really easygoing.
She was. Stacy was very easygoing. I just saw things in her. Maybe what others saw outside of her was not who she was on the inside. She had a hard exterior. She was a tough girl, but she was also very humbled by her heart. She just had a lot of love in her, a lot of compassion, a lot of feelings. And maybe some people who met her didn't see that from the outside, but I saw that. I got up close and personal, and it's nothing she told me. It's just everything I saw, that what I felt from her. She may have not made all the best decisions, but she also made good decisions. Sometimes it's harder to get to certain things, more so for others to get around a bend. And she had some tough calls along the way, and I got her. I just got her.
So after you went home the summer of 77, it'll be a couple more years till you see her again. And that'll be around the time that how old was I?
I'm going to say you were no more than 5. No more than 5.
I vaguely remember the plane ride.
After I had asked you initially, I kind of remembered you might not remember. And by that time, Uncle and Auntie bought a bigger house in Downers Grove. And that's the last time I saw her in person. But that's not the last time I ever spoke to her either.
So you would keep in constant contact with her throughout the rest of her life, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
That is correct.
It was a lot of the late night phone calls.
All late night phone calls.
Okay.
She was wasted. Now looking back at those late night phone calls, not that I knew what was going on, but I knew it wasn't good. I remember that. I knew it wasn't a good, not towards me, but there was a lot of things going on. I just didn't know what they were.
Towards the end, in the 90s, I'm assuming is what you're talking about, towards 91, 92,
Yep.
and 93 when
Yeah,
things started
'cause
to get bad.
she didn't talk about Russell at all. The only time I knew about Russell was through your Aunt Wendy.
Really? That's interesting. She didn't waste her time talking about him or bitching about him to you.
Nope. I knew nothing because really her phone calls, I left for Florida in 85 and her phone calls started coming in late at night. I want to say I don't remember them right away, but they started increasing towards, I would say I was there till 93. So definitely she started calling me at night. So she always had my number. And she'd call up, Cheryl, baby, did I ever tell you how much I love you? And I'm like, yes. And I would tell her back how much I loved her. But that's what she would always open up with all the late. And I used to get them at random, never knew when they were coming. And I knew she was wasted, Nicole. I knew she was. But that did not deter me. And I always picked up the phone. I knew she was wasted. I used to say I didn't think she was in a good place, but I never knew what that meant. And it wasn't to talk about life because she was wasted. And all she did was tell me how much she loved me and what a good friend I've been to her. And I've always been there for her, to be honest with you, not to be bragging or anything, but that's what she used to say to me. And that's when Aunt Wendy found my mother's phone number in Indiana and called me. And my mom's, sure, there's a call here for you. It's Wendy. And when she said Wendy, I knew immediately who it was because I didn't know any other Wendy. And Wendy was absolutely hysterical. And I remember just falling back in the chair, just blown away. When something's bothering you, like news of this, like just, I walked around, even to this day, Nicole, it just bothers me. It just bothers me. I'm just a friend of hers from the past, but it's just so bothersome. It's a story that's very bothersome to me.
It should be to everybody and not just to the people that loved her.
Yeah,
It's bothersome.
It's very bothersome is the word I use. For being 65, normally when my mom tells me most of the people in my address book are dead, Cheryl, and I'm like, that's funny. I've lost people already starting in my 30s. I already have a laundry list of people that I lost in their 30s that were all.
Do you still talk to anybody in the old crew? Is there anybody else I can talk to that knew my mom?
I don't speak to any of them, Nicole. I've disassociated with all of them. Everybody, some people stayed together, but the main groups, they diminished, people have passed on, moved away.
I leave the open invitation for anybody that knew my mom and you are willing to come on the show. Please come on and tell me what you remember of her. Every little memory is my small way to bring her back and I learn who she was.
Absolutely. I wish I had more to offer you other than we went to the Kansas concert. We went tubing down the river for the day. We went to the mall. She has been and will always be loved by me. And I miss her dearly. I miss her humor. I miss her passion. I know that we would have been continue speaking to this day. I am sure of it. And not only that, I am sure we would have been already rekindled to see each other. I'm sure of that. I would have been seeing her already.
The calls would have never stopped, Cheryl. Come on.
No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. Not for a moment. And whatever God's plan is for Russell, I don't know. Whatever he has coming, not coming, whatever, he's got to answer for that. He's got to, you got to live with What you get what you put out in life. I'm a firm believer. And living doesn't mean that he's not tormented and he's not going through whatever he's going through. That doesn't mean it at all. And whatever opportunity he had in life when he was with Stacy, career-wise, I think he shot all that to hell in a handbasket, that's for sure. So life can't be that grand for him.
No, yeah. As far as I know, he still has the pancreatic cancer. He's in remission, the last I heard.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not good, Nicole, because remission with pancreatic cancer, the likelihood of that coming back is pretty likely. And you know what? Sometimes living knowing you have that terminal illness is sometimes worse than death, believe it or not.
It would be nice to get a confession before he dies. But did you listen to the last episode that I released? Number 10?
Think so. I always try to like them so you know I listen to it. I have to see if where I'm at on Spotify.
It has my sister's interview in it. Did you hear my sister?
Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? Yes. And I don't mean to make you emotionally upset. But if I didn't know any better, she sounds so much like Stacy.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh my God. When I was listening to that recording, that's the last episode I listened to. If I didn't know any better, I could have sworn that was Stacy. Honest to God, she's got that same voice.
Does she sound just like her? Yeah, I was really
into it again, Nicole.
I was really surprised by how passionate my sister was and how much she agrees that her dad was responsible. I didn't expect that. So I would love to
When was that?
that was recorded in July of 2023, so 2 years ago, and since then I haven't gotten any update. I guess I could submit for a new case file, which would include supplement reports and any updates, but as far as I know, that confrontation call never went through.
What does that mean, never went through?
They never did it. They never performed the confrontation call. I've never gotten any update in the case, and what I have to prove that anything happened. But you've always got to submit for new case file to get new supplement reports. They don't just send you updates.
Right. I didn't realize that was that recent.
Correct. I recently stumbled across that. I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it because when I was scrubbing all that literally what you bought, the USB drive, I was going through it all because I'm rounding to the end of the podcast. I wanted to ensure that I got all the audio. Thank God I went through it because there was one file that said calls with Sergeant Leon, and I clicked on it and it opened up to three more calls. I didn't realize that file contained 3 more calls that I missed. And there were 2 voicemails, missed calls, and then 1 connected call, 18 minutes, that turned out to be 16 of it went into the podcast. Yeah, hardcore. I just found that 2 weeks ago. Just literally. And
nobody told you.
Nobody told me, no. And I've been reaching out to my sister. I have no idea where she sits after 2 years on whether she wants to still do it. It's public record. Anybody could access it, so that's why I released it. But is she still willing to help get a confession from her dad is what I want to know. Is she still willing?
I'm going to go back and re-listen to that. I did listen to that, but I'm going to go back because her voice really, but you also sound like your mom as well. There's parts of you and parts of her. I hear your mom.
I sound a lot like my dad after living with him for 30 years, but yeah.
Your dad is an interesting character.
Yes, he is.
Can I ask you, what was that like was he the way he is what I see now? That's how he was growing up, raising a daughter?
Life was very hard with Craig after Mom was gone. Life was very hard with Craig. He's a good man, but he didn't know how to raise a child. He had 0 interest in doing it. And even in the body cam footage that he didn't expect me to see, he just did his duty. Well, that's an exact quote. He had no interest in raising me. So life was very hard, and that's half of the reason why I am the way I am today.
And I'm very sorry that he was not there for you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Was just not there for you.
Oh, yeah, I was very alone.
I'm really, really sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Wendy she tried to be there in the beginning, but she just fell apart from the grief. And as the years dragged on, they just took her down. So she will eventually disappear by the time I'm a senior in high school. And she was the only female figure I had, and she was in and out of my life for that 4 years. I had nobody until recently, honestly, until either it was Swifty first and then you a year later, until you and Swifty walked back into my life. I had no mother figure and have had nobody to turn to until recently. And I can't thank you enough for taking me under
Nicole,
your
I
wing.
say this from the bottom of my heart. You ever want to talk, FaceTime like we are? I'm here. You want to call me? Call me. You want to text me? Text me. Email? Email. Reach out anytime. If there's something I can talk out with you or bring enlightenment to you, I will. I'm totally here. I'm totally here.
And I know that. Thank you. And I know that. Thank you, Cheryl.
I cannot replace your mom, but I can certainly maybe give you the female coverage to how I can to be here, and not only one, but you have Lori and Cheryl.
Let me tell you a funny story. So last night I went to a Chinese festival with my boyfriend for work, and we were on the west side and we were driving past Lori's house. It was like 7:45 and I was like, Dustin, let's stop in front of her house and let me tap on her window. I had this tap. He goes, you're going to get shot. And I was like, she's not going to shoot me. She doesn't have a gun. It's not a big deal. It's Lori. And so her windows are dark at 7:45 and I tap on her windows. She doesn't answer. So then I call her and I wake her up and she's groggy. And she was like, hello. And I go, hey, lady, are you sleeping? I go, I'm outside your house. I just tapped on your windows. She goes, I thought I heard something. She goes, this is a good way to get shot. I was like, okay, I guess my tapping on windows is done. But yeah, Lori's amazing.
Two people told you that in 10 minutes.
It has many minutes, less than like a minute and a half telling me I'm going to get shot.
Cool. Oh my,
Yeah.
See, your mother would do something like that.
Tonight, you didn't just hear stories. You heard a friendship. Cheryl didn't come here to rewrite history. She came to remember it. Downers Grove in 76 and Phoenix in 77, bare feet on burning sidewalks, the 8th row Kansas tickets that were worth getting fired for, the neighborhood nicknames, the bad ideas that somehow didn't end in disaster, and the way my mom could walk into a room full of strangers and leave with a circle of friends. We talk a lot on the show about files and timelines and what's missing, but the thing that Cheryl gave back today wasn't paperwork, it was texture. The girl who did her chores and laughed about picking weeds, the tough exterior with the softest heart, the phone calls that always began the same way. Cheryl, baby, did I tell you how much I love you? That's not evidence in a binder. That's a person, and that's my mom. Some memories stayed off mic tonight on purpose. Not because they were shameful, but because friendships can hold things that podcasts don't need to. I respect that. I'm grateful for what was shared and for what was protected. That photo Cheryl mentioned, the one where she's taking my mom to the airport to fly back to Phoenix and she's wearing the Loop Radio t-shirt, I tracked it down and I made it this episode's cover art. Since switching to Libsyn, I've noticed the artwork shows up on Spotify but not on the Apple podcast. So if you're listening on Apple, you probably can't see what I'm talking about. It's my mother and Cheryl, classic 70s fun-loving babes, and it belongs on this story. This past year, I felt the circle widening. A mom at school recognized the show before she recognized me. CrimeCon, where Melissa and I somehow ended up next to the prosecutors and we realized that we weren't just fans anymore. I also found something recently buried on a USB, a 2023 call with Sedona PD about a confrontation call that, as far as I know, never happened. I don't have an update on that yet, but I'm definitely not done asking. If you were part of the Downers Grove orbit, if you knew John Boy, if you knew Marty or Jerry, if you remember a house with a bedroom window entrance and a karaoke mic, reach out. If you knew Stacy in Phoenix, if you floated that river with her, if you stood in the kitchen while she laughed about weeds and chores, reach out. If you lived in Sedona in the early 90s, if you knew Russell Peterson, if you worked with him, partied with him, dated someone who did, or just heard something once that stuck with you, reach out. Small details turn into map pins. Enough pins become a pattern. Pattern becomes movement. Cheryl, thank you for loving my mother out loud, for protecting the parts that belong to friendship and gifting the parts that belong to history. You said the calls would never have stopped, and because of you, they won't. We'll keep picking up when they ring through the years. And to anyone who needs it, the National Domestic Hotline is 1-800-799-SAFE. Save it. Share it. If you're not safe, you can call, text, or chat and someone will answer. I'll end with this. Earlier this week, a coworker recognized the show before she recognized me. It's a small moment, but it means Stacy's name is leaving rooms it's never reached before. It means a teenager from 1977, a mom from Phoenix, is still being carried by you, by me, and by this show. My name is Nikki. I'm the daughter of a murdered woman. This is Poppy Killed Mommy. Thank you for listening.
When was the last time you felt in control of your business finances? Expenses tracked, invoices sent, taxes ready. That's where Found comes in. Found brings your banking, bookkeeping, invoicing, and taxes together in one simple app. Manage expenses, invoice clients, send payments, and prep for tax time right where you bank. Join the hundreds of thousands who have already streamlined their finances with Found. Open a Found account for free at found.com. That's FOUND.com. Found is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by Lead Bank, member FDIC.